Yeah,
Yeah, thank
you
you.
know,
Yeah.
I could never do a non-spoilery thing. Did I give you one word at the Paley Fest?
I
Did I do
don't
that?
think so.
I don't think
I
so.
don't think
I've been
so.
asked it before, so I was wondering if you would ask me because my word was always just bloody. Because I think this
Bloody.
season, yeah, we had never had this much blood, I don't think, in previous seasons. Like, no one's lost fingers before. I mean, then again, Miguel lost the use of his legs for like a little bit, but yeah, no, people,
Was it
Chosen almost
detached?
died.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
detached and
Oh my gosh, yeah. Holy cow. Yeah, you're right. The effects and then the blood on the sword, on the katana,
yeah,
the close up
yeah.
there, yeah, it's pretty good.
Especially,
Um,
yeah, when they do the shank scene on Kreese, like I read it
oh
before, and
yeah.
I already knew that it's fake. Oh, it's Jello. But in seeing how they filmed it, I was like, if I didn't know what was happening, I'd think that we just watched this man die. Yeah, very intense. But
Yeah, see,
it's
what you described kind of reminds me of when I got the screeners for season four for the very first time,
oh,
and I read the list of spoilers not to talk about in my non-spoiler review. I was like,
right,
oh
right,
no, Chosen returns. So like I know all
right.
these things were coming, but it was
Yeah,
just like, how did we get there? So like same thing with you. You knew that was gonna
right.
happen with Kreese, but it's like, well, let's see them do it.
I
So
want to
yeah,
say, yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah.
yeah. I
So
was there when they were rehearsing it too.
oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
and so I had seen like them rehearsing it. I was wondering like I wonder how this is going to turn out because we had also I think they were still debating on whether or not they were going to be able to do get the rights to My Way. I was like, oh my
Right.
god, I really hope they do because it's like it's an expensive song, but I think
Yeah.
they got it and
It's
yeah, it was
perfect.
awesome.
It's a perfect use of that song. Absolutely.
It is, yeah.
It would have been funny if we had like a kind of like a Mickey Mouse Easter egg. You know how you can find like him almost in every single movie or whatever. Like we have
Oh,
Demetri just in the background of the prison. Yeah, just for no reason.
I'm just hiding in the
We
back
we
in
just
like
needed
just a
one more
prison
body.
cell. Oh my
It's like, wait a minute.
gosh.
Did we just see Demetri for some weird reason? That'd be really
Honestly, I
funny.
would love that. I had seen a thing about Breaking Bad where Bryan Cranston had like they put all sorts of makeup on him in when he was like in Jesse's crack house in like one of those scenes, and
Oh.
he like comes up, yeah, and it's him, and he's in disguise. I would love to get like all made up and like be in the prison where Crease is, maybe just like in the background. That would have been fun next season.
That would be fun. I didn't know about that story, but I don't know if you
Yeah.
heard about the one where he was at the I think it was the
Oh,
San Diego Comic Con.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And
Yeah,
he's
where
walking
he
around
like
with a
put the mask
Heisenberg.
on. That's amazing.
We gotta
That's
find a
it.
Dimitri mask.
No, no one wants that. No, please, please do
Come
not
on.
make my face and wear it. That would be bad.
Yeah. I think what we kind of started off with is some gold, so I kind of keep it in, but I'll at least do an intro so that way we can
Okay,
get into the conversation proper. So you guys already
okay.
been watching, but welcome back to another episode of Cobra Kai Companion. I'm Peter, and joining me for his umpteenth time, Gianni DeCenzo, who plays
Hey,
Demetri. How you doing, Gianni?
I'm doing awesome, man. Thank you so much for having me back for yes, I think the umpteenth and a half time.
Yeah, you're
I don't know
right.
what that halftime is, but
Like
yeah.
it might be one of the promos you cut just for like the group page because you've done a
Oh
couple of
yeah.
those like back in the day. I don't
Okay,
know if you
then yeah.
remember. Like
Umpteenth and a half.
you're hiding in this like behind a tree and it's snowing or something, right? I think that was
Yes.
like a New Year's video.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You've done some stuff. I need to
Yeah.
go take some of those and share them. They'd be like, oh my God, look how young he looked.
Oh God, no, please don't
Which by
remind
the
me.
way, I pulled up a recent IMDb of you and I haven't seen these shared yet, but you have some new headshots. You
Yes,
look
I
super
recently did.
grown.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I recently got some new headshots. My agents and managers were like, "Hey, these shots of you are looking kind of old. You keep getting sent out for these like really young parts. Maybe we should like get you some more updated headshots." And so yeah, I went out, got some new stuff. We also did for the first time I had ever done something like this, a crazy photo shoot for Cobra Kai season
Hmm.
5. I don't know if you saw it with like all the powder and
Powder?
stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk
Yeah,
about that.
that was crazy, man. It got everywhere. They had like little baskets of shampoo and stuff. We had individual showers where we could go to. I didn't shower. I just wanted to show my parents what I looked like. Told them that Cobra Kai's abusing me. But no, it was a lot of fun. It was
Um,
cool.
I feel this had to have come up unless you weren't there for it. I feel Mary must have like compared doing that versus like the glitter bomb in season 4. Did that come up? Do you know?
Oh,
Because
I
I
don't
wonder
think
what's
she ever
worse.
the glitter. Oh,
I
I
think
mean, this
glitter's got to be
powder
worse, right?
stuff. The powder stuff got in my eyes, like because it's just like this like real thin powder all around you, and we're trying to keep our eyes open for the camera, but it's just like getting in there. It doesn't burn. It's just like if you're in the middle of a sandstorm.
Sure.
It's
I
just
I have
yeah.
been in one. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, then you get it.
Right.
I think it was made from cornstarch, so the air tasted different. If that makes sense.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Did did
yeah.
did you did you do the thing like kids do with snow? Did you do a little bit of did you,
I wasn't brave enough. I wasn't brave. They told me it was cornstarch, but I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to ingest this. Now I regret it. I should have just licked the floor.
yeah, why
Yeah,
not? Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, you don't want it to go to waste, right?
No. Well, I mean, it's probably still around my house somewhere. I mean, that stuff got everywhere, man. It's still
Yeah.
on my shoes.
I bet that's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, it's so awesome. For those that are kind of tuning in, and maybe you guys haven't heard of the podcast slash channel, and seen my interviews with Gianni. Uh, Gianni was like my third interview. I was his first, and he was
Oh,
my first on
yeah.
the red carpet recently, back in April. But it's so crazy to watch how far you guys have come from like the YouTube Red days to YouTube
Yeah.
Premium to Netflix seasons 3, 4, and 5. Like it's wild and seeing you guys appear at all these different places. But let's see, shortly after Paley Fest, when I saw you last,
Mm,
there was the Netflix is a joke Cobra Kai Live and Badass. What do you
mm.
remember from that event?
Man, I remember being nervous. Like, the Cobra Kai blew up during COVID, like when we moved over to Netflix. And so we didn't get to see that kind of response in public. We definitely saw it like over, on Instagram and on Netflix. It was awesome. We got a lot of support. But getting to see people in person was something that we definitely didn't have at first. And so I would say that's like aside from the Paley Fest, that was like one of the first big events we did when it came out onto Netflix. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to do as many premieres because of COVID and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I was nervous. It was a great turnout, and yeah, I went there. We rehearsed it like once right before we opened. Luckily, I didn't have like too long of a script, and I'm okay at improvising. I mean, we did the improv thing on your channel, so hopefully I'm okay. But
You're great.
yeah, it was a lot of fun though. I got to meet a lot of awesome people. It was cool because there was this one hallway and there was like a glass, so people just walking by could see us through the hallway. And I had a lot of people just wanting to like take pictures, and so I try to like smush my face up against the glass, take as many pictures as possible. Yeah, it was just a great turnout. It was cool to see everyone.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Did Joe Esposito, was he part of the run through before you guys did it?
Oh, no.
Was that a surprise?
We were all very surprised. I think he was out of town. You mean the announcer, right? Or
The gentleman who sings "You're the Best." He came
oh,
out at the
oh, I'm
very
sorry. I'm
end.
sorry. I'm getting all
Yeah,
my
yeah.
sorry. No, we did not know. That
Oh
was
wow.
insane. I had recently seen him at what was it called? We went to the one like intimate concert
Oh,
with a
with
band
Zach
that
and Leo,
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? The
They do
composers.
the soundtrack
Right, right, right.
for Cobra Kai. Yeah, and he did like a surprise appearance, and we got to sing with him, and then finally getting to, you know, be on the stage with him. That was pretty cool. I was not expecting that, but it
Yeah.
was awesome.
I mean, it was so awesome to see you guys, kind of like just embracing it, I guess,
Mm,
and John, Josh, and Hayden are like,
yeah,
long time huge fans of the Karate Kid. I,
yeah.
I I can only imagine what it was like for them. Like just thinking about it is giving me chills, to kind of be
I
on
mean,
that
yeah,
stage with that iconic song and that the just as an iconic man who sings it.
yeah.
Um
I mean, I think
so
at this point they're used to working with legends.
it's
That's what they do now.
you would think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right about that. Especially like even projects that they produce,
Mm,
let alone, create and write for.
Right.
So you talked about the run through. For those that got to be present, or some of us that got to see some videos taken by people that were in attendance, did you guys also have Yuji do the run through, or was he a surprise for you guys too?
I think I don't remember seeing him there. I knew he was going to be there. Like we had like a general layout of what was going on, and like some stuff was scripted a little bit. Um but I think that he had to rehearse it separately because we all had different schedules and stuff, I mean, geez, Billy and Ralph, they both live in different states. They're on the
Mhm.
other side of the country. So it sucks. We don't always get to like rehearse together. But I mean, he's just a pro, you know. He, I like seeing the crowd, like hearing them just go crazy over him. He like came out from behind, just like, yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah,
I
following
I
that
remember when I
the
first.
Terry
Oh
Silver
yeah.
video, right? The Terry Silver
Yes.
video, yeah, and then
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
and then that's when he entered. Yeah, so it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
perfect.
It was so cool. Yeah, I remember when I first got to meet Yuji. I was on the van going over to the set, and he like had already been there because the van shows up like I think like 20 minutes early, and he wanted to like really get there on time. I think. And so I go on there, and he's sitting back there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, hi. And it was just the two of us on the bus ride over. I'm just like, how are you doing? And he talked to me about his restaurant. He's got like a chain restaurant that he's working on. As like part of a wrap gift, he gave everyone like this awesome shirt from his restaurant. I still gotta go. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
I
he's.
just I just went again
Oh
last
really?
month. Yeah,
Oh hey.
I went to go see him, and we talked a lot. He
Okay.
spent about 3 hours with us, and
Oh wow.
the first time I went up there, um, I had just interviewed him like was it April of 2019,
Mm,
and so
okay.
July 2019, I drove up there with my buddy, and I thought he would just come by and say hello, but he ended up
Mm,
sitting with us for like 3 hours, and we just
that's
talked about
awesome.
everything, so that and at that point, him and his wife were kind of picking our brains rather. And it's like, oh, well, if like Chosen showed up, how do you think they would do it? I go, well, we know LaRusso is going to Okinawa. Maybe he runs into Chosen there, and
Mm,
I gave my theory that because we didn't know what the reason was, right? We didn't know it was going to be
okay.
work related business, and I always kind of thought, oh, well, it'd be kind of cool if like that little girl that he saved in the second movie, maybe they kept in touch and she's getting married and she invites him over,
Yeah.
like something like that. And I wasn't so far off. Like she actually showed up as well, in
Yeah.
season three. Yeah. So to my surprise, fast forward to I think August or September when they dropped the Legacy trailer announcing that seasons
Mm,
1 and 2 are moving to Netflix, followed by season three at some point. And then at the very end, there's like what 17 seconds of like Chosen and Daniel facing off. And I was like, oh my God, that's Chosen.
it
So
happened. Oh my
yeah,
gosh. Oh, that's awesome.
but we couldn't get any confirmation, and everyone kind of remembers things differently, whether or not like Yuji was already approached by then. But like
Mm,
if you think about it in terms of um pre-production, I feel like he must have known by then, or at least been reached out. But like NDAs and like things you can't say. So
right. I'm
yeah.
trying to think. Yeah,
So
because how long before the trailer had you met?
well the
Or well, I guess so. I mean, they
well
they
see so
film like
I
way far in advance of that.
Yeah. I feel the
Yeah.
trailer came out in September. I feel.
Okay.
July is when I saw him. I
Okay.
visited the set the end of
Yeah.
August 2019. So right before you guys started filming season three. Literally days
Okay.
before because I left on the second, the third was a Monday Labor Day, and the fourth is when you guys would start production.
Okay. Yeah,
I
he
remember
definitely knew
yeah.
then. He
Okay.
he was probably dying to tell you
Yeah.
what it actually was because yeah, I mean, your theory is pretty. I would say yeah, pretty close.
Yeah,
Awesome.
if he doesn't know by now, I'm a pretty big Chosen fan, so I was pretty excited. And then I honestly, I thought
Yeah.
he'd be in like 4 or 5 episodes of season five. I had no idea he'd be in every episode. So
I would say I don't know. Everyone does an awesome job, but this season I would say Chosen definitely stole the show. I love seeing the character in this different lighting, because he was so serious in the original movie, and now to see him getting along with Daniel and having this soft spot, yeah, it's awesome.
I'm trying to remember who I said this to. I feel like I said it to AJ Hicks. I
Mm,
also recently interviewed him, and
Okay.
I don't know if you guys picked up on this, like at least for me, and I haven't had this discussion with anybody else. I feel like
Mm.
Chosen is definitely your guys' Mr. Miyagi. You know, like
Hmm.
we grew up watching those movies and seeing Pat Morita with
Right.
Ralph, all those years,
Yeah.
and to see you guys interact with Yuji, that's kind of like the same vibe that I'm getting
Yeah.
at the very least. So yeah, I'd be interested to see what people think. But yeah, it warms my heart, to see Chosen part of that world and to see like the different colors of Chosen because we see
Mm.
like in a flashback of like young Chosen with his uncle Sato. So we see a little bit of Sato in like Bad Eggs,
Yeah.
where he's like this the screaming uncle, kind of thing. And then we have like the really warm, Mr. Miyagi-esque Chosen, and then like, the Karate Kid Chosen where he's kind of
Yeah.
stoic and kind of quiet. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite moment of Chosen's?
I'm trying to think. Well, because I remember during the egg training scene, I can't remember who said the line where he's like, I think it might have been me, where it's like he's a mix between Daniel
Yeah.
and Johnny, right? And honestly, that does kind of relate to him being like Mr. Miyagi. He's kind of like Daniel in that he's got those teaching that Miyagi instilled in him, but then he's also got kind of an aggressive approach to things like Johnny. But as far as my favorite scene, I mean, unfortunately, I didn't get to work with him as much as I would have liked to. But like I said, that egg scene, that was pretty cool. Getting to
Yeah.
watch him like just run after us with the bow staff. They have like the fog machines on full blast. He's just charging at us, and we're just like, oh my god! And we did that scene a couple of times. He did not slow down once. He did it the exact same way with the same intensity every single time. He was awesome. I was honored to grab his bow staff and try to kill him. I guess not kill him, but stop him
Yeah.
from hurting our precious eggs.
That's a really cool moment there where he's like taking
Yeah,
all you guys and he's blocking some of your guys' attacks. So that's a really cool sequence.
yeah.
Directed by Joel, that episode, right?
Yes, yeah, I
Yeah,
believe
yeah,
so. Yes,
yeah.
it's
Because
been
because
almost a year now. Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
almost a year.
fuck
You're
me.
right.
Yeah.
Because I shared a couple of my favorite frames. Are you familiar with that account? One Perfect Shot.
Oh, I
it,
think
it may
so.
it might even be a website, but they they
Okay.
they share like just like the one like a perfect frame. And the first
Yeah.
one I shared from season 5 was I don't know how you do it, but Terry's Quicksilver Silver Bullet. So
Oh.
like when he's kind of like
Oh
cocking
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that hand back, yeah, and then the
Yeah.
way like Thomas has his face and like the shadowing, that was like one of my favorite shots. And then the
Oh.
second one was Chosen with the bow like running through the fog. It's just so
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
so I shared that, and Joel follows me on Twitter too. And I asked him, I was like, hey, can you give me any insight how this was done? And he gave credit to the cinematographer that said that it had to be the kind of right time of the morning, add some fog
Mhm.
machine, and you get the light effect. So yeah, really cool. What I loved about season 5 is we saw things lit and framed and shot from different angles that we haven't seen before, kind of making the world feel a little bit bigger.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, every season, I would say, I mean, I eventually want to get into directing, but they're very cinematic. Like you were saying, that shot of just him running through the fog, it really is just like a perfect moment sort of thing. It's not something that I think we would easily be able to just recreate. It's just one of those things that just works out that way. And
Yeah.
I like to say that I want to go to college. Well, I want to go to like a film school to study film and stuff like that, and eventually cinematography maybe. But I would say no amount of money could pay for the education like you get being on a set and
Mhm.
watching them set this up. I mean, we just got an awesome team. They're all great.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I had heard um is he I believe is was it Paula who also was in Harold and Kumar. I believe
Mm.
she kind of like observed, like John Josh and Hayden
Mm.
for filming season 5, I feel. Because
Mm.
I think she's working on a project of her own, but maybe you could do something like that, just kind of like intern with them, just to kind of see how things work.
Yeah. Yeah,
You have
that's
an
the
in.
hope. Eventually, I might go to them with some ideas of my own. I have a couple
Yeah.
of TV shows that I might want to make. I can't say them here because they're top secret, but off camera we
Yeah.
can discuss it.
Okay, okay. If you ever need a postal consultant, I will work for free.
Oh no, I can't do that to you. You're a professional. We're professionals. We get
Okay.
paid. We
Yeah.
pay for our work.
Um, so at Pillyfest, you got to
Mm,
witness the audience react to seeing Chosen at the very end. I have
yeah.
a video clip of that. It gives me chills every time I watch it. Ralph even liked it on Twitter.
Mm,
So he must like that scene too. You were at the Live and Badass and you got to see the crowd react to Yuji as a surprise guest.
yeah.
I want to hear about the premiere, but also what was the reaction of or like when they showed Chosen's butt?
No, wait, what? No, I
What?
can't.
Yeah,
Um, I
it's just their
mean,
reaction. I'm not asking you to give me a critique of
with
the butt double.
all kinds of love, and they just, their jaws dropped to the floor. They were in love with it. Wait, what episode was that in? I'm trying to
The
think.
first episode, it was almost like
The very first episode?
it was the opening sequence. Yeah, basically
Right, right,
right after the
right.
commercial. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I was okay. We did a shoot. We did a thing, a premiere recently for
Right.
season 5.
It
Yeah.
looks so awesome and fun.
Yeah. Were you there?
No, I saw a lot of
Ooh.
videos and pictures. No,
Okay, damn.
I asked Netflix if I can go to cover it, but
Right.
also I also had followed up about screeners for season 5, and they
Mm.
only responded, "Oh, we added the screeners to your Netflix." So I was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Uh,
So I didn't want to like, hey, I also about asked about the premiere, you know. So
right.
I didn't want to, be
Yeah.
too extra and didn't want to be that guy. Like,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, it seemed like I probably could have if maybe I just shot my shot more. But I was just like, I'm okay with the screeners, and I worked Paley Fest, and so I have that. Hopefully there's more
Yeah.
that I could do in the near future.
I was sad that I didn't get to see you on the yeah. I was thinking maybe you were just there because I didn't see you on the red carpet, but damn, okay. Well, hey, season 6 then.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we'll see.
If you could ever bring +2 to other events in the future, like I know Melissa's gonna go first.
No, Melissa, she doesn't need to go to anything. No, no. Weak link. No, but yeah, I was ordering a pizza during that scene, and all of a sudden people just go crazy, and I turned back, and it was, yeah, full moon.
That's what you saw.
That's what I saw. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
So the premiere, it looked wild. You guys had like
Mm.
they had like the balance board that you can pose on.
Yeah,
Obviously had the big screen with the projection, music. What else did they have going on there?
I
Oh,
mean, this was
Ralph and
like
Billy rolled up in the van.
they rolled up in the van. I remember getting there. We were like put onto golf carts so we could get driven over to like the specific place where we needed to be. And on the way there, I just saw the van and like people doing all sorts of camera stuff. They were filming the whatever sort of thing they were doing. And I was just like, what the hell are they doing over there? And then they just Billy and Ralph pulled up the fireworks going off. It was really cool. I had no idea that they were doing that. That was not in the Google Docs that they gave everyone that day, but it was really cool. And yeah, that was the first big premiere we got like that. I mean, we had never
Yeah,
done a premiere like that before, and it was such an awesome turnout. There was a lot of awesome stuff to do. Aside from watching the first 2 episodes, you had, like you said, the balancing board photo shoot. We had the red carpet. KTLA was there. I didn't know they were gonna be there. I don't know
of course
why,
the
but I was very
news.
nervous. Yeah, but I
Okay.
was very nervous. I had never done like a news channel like that before, so I was like, okay, hi. That was cool. And then they had a lot of great food. Like I said, I got a pizza. It took 30 minutes to make it, and I think I missed most of the first episode, but damn, that pizza was worth it. It's such a good
I
pizza.
bet. And good, I hope you still have Netflix, so you can watch it
Yeah.
if you missed it, so
Oh
totally
no.
fine.
Oh, trust me. I have binge watched it 1,000 times over. I've got it. It's in my head. I've
So
lived
good.
it too.
Okay, okay. What are some of your Cobra Kai related scenes? Since
Ooh,
you're Miyagi-Do / Eagle Fang kind of thing.
yeah. My
Did
what do you mean?
Oh, just like something that you weren't a part of. We'll talk about the fight at
Oh,
the end, but like
yeah,
anything
yeah,
like
yeah.
Terry Silver or Sensei Kim, because
Mm,
Alicia is brand new. I got to speak with her
right.
recently as well, so she was brand new to the cast. What was it like having her on set and as a new character?
It was awesome. I mean, I unfortunately didn't get to really talk to her much because, I mean, we didn't have like any scenes together, and usually when that happens, I don't get to really meet people other than like if we're passing each other by in between filming. But she's really great, and especially we have, I guess people are calling them now the younger generation. We have Dallas and Una, all the
Oh,
new people coming over to the set. They're all great.
yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
bring a great new energy to Cobra Kai. I'm really interested to see where Kenny Dallas plays Kenny. I'm really interested to see where Kenny's gonna go too, because he really went on to the darker side, and but then when Cobra Kai kind of disbanded, he seemed a little lost there. So I
yeah.
don't know.
But
We'll see. Maybe in
but
season
he
6.
also kind of led that group too. He was the first to
Yeah,
remove his shirt too. So
yeah.
yeah, kind of
He became
interesting.
the
And
leader of that group pretty fast. I think he's like the prodigy, especially like you said, he had the silver bullet that he was kind of perfecting. He used that against Hawk. And yeah, I don't
and
know what's gonna
Robbie,
happen there. And
Robbie
Robbie,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's
That thing
that's
is
that's a scary
brutal,
move.
man.
Yeah, right.
It's
Yeah.
brutal. I hope that Demetri never has to deal with that.
I mean,
That would be
also,
bad.
I mean, it's no, I mean, the crane kick is no silver bullet too. Like you,
Mm,
in comparison, like when Daniel starts doing that, it's like I kind of lost my shit. But also the stance, like over
mm,
years and decades, like people mock it and parody it, so it's kind of
mm.
became like that thing. But like to see the silver bullet, and then to see like Kenny kind of do it, you're like, oh my God, it's scary. It's scary because
Yeah,
like you heard what Terry says to Kenny. He says, or at least when he demonstrates, like he punctures that dummy,
yeah,
and it'll knock the wind out of you and all of that. So, and with Hayden all over Twitter talking about how somebody's gonna die, like I was like, could it be one of the kids? Could it be Hawk? Could it be Robbie? Because now the
yes.
silver bullet has been introduced. So pretty crazy. Oh yeah, and then Jacob, he was with Ralph at God, what event it was, and it was just the two of them kind of
Mm.
making their rounds, and at one point somebody asked Jacob, "Oh, well, can you tell us about your character in season 5?" He goes,
Yeah,
"I die," or or
yeah.
something like that. And people are like, "Oh my God, he just said that Hawk's gonna die."
I mean, I'm sorry to say it, but that honestly is the most fun thing that we have on the set. It's just so much fun sometimes to tell someone that our character dies, especially if they love the character. I don't know. We're evil, especially Jacob. It's just a fun thing. No one died, thankfully. We didn't. But season 6, I definitely die. So
Yeah, okay, yeah, right, because it hasn't been written
yeah.
yet. You're
It
sending
hasn't
that to
been
the
written
internet,
yet, but
right?
we'll work it in. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I don't know what the silver bullet could become, because I mean, the way Silver Day, like you said, he had punctured that dummy, so it definitely isn't at full potential when Kenny uses it. I mean, he knocks Hawk down, which he's a pretty experienced fighter, so to be able to take him down is an impressive feat in and of itself. But yeah, I wonder how much damage could be done if Kenny really perfected it like Silver has it.
right.
That could be
He's
a
he's still
lethal
a
weapon.
novice and
Yeah, he's
was
still
able to do
novice.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
like you
that
said,
that
yeah. I mean, he only just learned it, and yet he was able to knock down an experienced fighter like Hawk. If he just keeps at it for, I don't know, a month, he might be able to kill someone. We'll
right.
see.
He could. I mean, yeah, we'll see. We have no idea where it's gonna go.
Mm.
Um, let's see here. Yeah, so there's a project that you did work on. It's funny because it's almost kind of like I like to think of it as like one of Dimitri's summer jobs where he's like a car wash attendant or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you played a character named Owen on NCIS. I don't know if you get to
Yes.
choose your name because you work with an Owen,
Yeah, I know.
improv together on this channel. But yeah, can you talk about like how did you end up on NCIS for that role?
I had worked I had done a lot of auditions for NCIS, and that's usually a good sign that they like you, but they're trying to figure out the right fit for you, because it really comes down to like, do you fit the character? You can rehearse for something 1,000 times over. You could be the best actor in the world, but if you're not necessarily a good fit for something, then you're not going to get that part. That's just one of the things about acting. And then finally, I had gotten a call back, and when I'm on there, I see that we actually had someone in common on the production team from Cobra Kai. And so this whole time, she had been fighting for me to get like a part in there for me because she liked my work so much when we worked together. And thank you for that. And so finally, I got to go onto the set, and man, it is such a well-oiled machine. I mean, they had been doing this show for like 20 plus years or so,
Yeah.
and it filmed in my backyard, which was nice. I didn't have to fly out for the first time to film something.
Right.
Um, yeah, but they just had things down like crazy good. They would film with two cameras at the same time, just boop boop boom. And it was awesome getting to be the person to find the dead body. Maybe in a later episode somewhere down the line, maybe Owen will become the killer or a
Maybe,
detective.
maybe it was
Yeah,
him. Yeah.
yeah, maybe it was me all along, and I'm just the best killer on NCIS. I was never caught. That's what I
Yeah.
tell myself.
You were the
But it was a
Kaiser
lot of
Sose.
fun. Well, yeah,
Right.
it was a lot of fun though. It
Totally
was
wasn't
cool.
me at all. Like I found him
Yeah,
like this.
what?
Yeah.
I'm
Um,
just cleaning cars.
yeah, that's it. It's a car wash, dude.
Yeah.
Um, so with season five, we see that Miyagi-Do closes down. Demetri says that he has to get a summer job. Let's talk about
Yeah.
the scene where he shows up to Johnny's apartment, which I was like, wait, does Demetri not know where Johnny lives? I guess he doesn't, because he's never been to Miguel's place either, who lives across the way.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too because at first I was like, oh, wouldn't I know where he lives? But no, yeah, technically I don't think I ever visit Miguel. Usually we'll meet each other in the dojo or something like that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, no, we're starting to kind of work together. I don't know. We'll see what happens in the future. But yeah, I didn't know where they lived, and so I think it was awesome that of course Dimitri has to sell a phone to the person that is constantly kicking his ass. He
Mhm.
flipped Dimitri in season one, and then he taped him to a punching bag. It was all
Yeah.
kinds of crazy stuff that they get into. But I mean, to be honest, it was kind of cool to see a softer side of their relationship to one another. I mean, Johnny really kind of, in his way, opened up to Dimitri, where he actually thanks him for his help. That's like the first time he didn't say something, insulting to Dimitri. Um, so it was kind of cool. And I always love working with Billy. He's awesome. He's just so great to work off of. Uh, I'm sad that they took it out, but I understand why. We had this once part where how he flips the cap.
Mhm.
Um, he after he says like, "Okay, get back to work," he flipped the cap, and it like almost hit me directly in the face. I think it hit the cameraman behind me, and I'm sad that they took that out because I think it was just such a great like shot. One of those shots where you couldn't like remake it, but Billy brought up a good point because I had met him. We did like an event for local Valley dojos. We did a special screening for them, and we talked about that scene. And he said, like, I think they took that part out because it would have kind of it would have diminished the touching moment beforehand. You know, I'm
Right.
like, yeah, I guess it would, but also it would be super Johnny. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was
peak
great.
Johnny is what we're starting to say in the fandom there.
Yeah,
Um,
peak
it,
Johnny.
yeah, peak Johnny. In season five was full of peak Johnny moments. I mean, the Mexico stuff. Oh,
Mm.
this is 60 minutes, so that's like 300 American minutes. That's one of my favorite
Yeah.
lines from. I have to ask Michael if it was him that wrote that or if that was a pitch by somebody else. But yeah, I totally understand. That would totally undercut like that very first sequence where the maturation of one Johnny Lawrence. Where he's
Mm.
still misusing the pronouns. Geek or dweeb or whatever you identify yourself.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
he's
yeah.
trying to learn. So
He's getting there. He's working on it. Of course, it's at the expense of everyone else around him, but he's got it. Dimitri or Johnny's just such a lovable character. He's great.
yeah, he is great. What do you remember about filming the moment where Miguel gets the text from Sam and they're talking about like, oh,
Yeah.
there's no emojis, and so that whole back and forth.
it was really cool getting to work with everyone again. I think that was like one of the first scenes where we really get to have the characters go back and forth again in the fifth season, and it was cool because I always like to add some ad lib stuff, and there was this one portion where Demetri says something like, "It's fine, we're fine, it's okay," in the background, and you could like just barely make it out. That was something that I thought Demetri would say, and I added it in for like one scene there, and then I took it out, and they were like, "No, no, no, leave that in." And that's just one example of like being on the set. It's so great working with John, Josh, and Hayden because they really like to take in other people's ideas. They like to work with you, and that's something I never really had before on a set. And so getting to do that is it's awesome.
Yeah,
It's really
yeah,
cool.
absolutely. That's what we hear, that they're very open to things like that. Well, I feel like we learned a few things about Dimitri this season. Like he mentions at the Miyagi-Do that, oh gosh, it's during the bad eggs episode where he used like something from like a pre-college class, or I forget the line.
Oh,
Did you kind of
oh,
remember what
in
I'm talking about? Like what
the
he wraps his
egg
egg in?
protection.
Yeah, like that
Oh,
scene.
oh, where we put all of our eggs in one basket. You're literally not supposed to do that.
It's before that because he talks about something about a pre-college something. So it's like, okay, well, he's getting ready for college. I wish I had written the line down, but
Shoot,
I
I'm
was
trying
just
to think
like,
about it now. It's gonna kill me. Oh man.
well, because that, I mean, that like confirms that he's a senior. So
Hmm.
Dimitri would be probably turning 18 soon, I feel. Because we
I've
know
always
we
wondered about that. I
yeah.
think I don't know if we're a senior. I think we're in junior high, or I'm sorry,
Well, it's
we're in
summer.
the
It's
junior.
summertime. You guys are going to be
Yeah,
juniors
oh,
or
okay, then
seniors. You guys are
okay.
going to be seniors
Yes, then we
because
okay.
season four, Tori says that she's 17, or she says I'm turning 18 next month or next year when she's
Hmm.
talking to her aunt. And
Okay.
then in the first episode when Johnny's in Mexico, he's talking to the
Yeah.
Australian. He's like, oh, 17, slight build, but we're working on that or
Okay.
whatever. Yeah, yeah,
Then yes. Okay. Then in okay, season 6, then yes, we're gonna be going into our senior year.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I
Oh
feel.
man.
Sounds all
I've
right.
I've always wondered like how they would close out things for the show, and my big thing I think that they're gonna have like a graduation ceremony where I don't know who's gonna like give the big speech. I always thought maybe Demetri because like I would think he'd be like the valedictorian because he's I don't know. And it would be like the speech that just reflects over everyone's time with Cobra Kai and throughout all 6 seasons, and it's just like a nice close, and then everyone else goes off on their own, whether it be to college or to start a dojo of their own, maybe. Um, I don't
And
know.
this
Maybe a
the
spin-off. I know there's been talk about those. We'll see.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of talks about spin-offs, but this is
Yeah.
now kind of like taking me back to my youth when there were shows that I watch and I would kind of grow with these characters, and then they would
Mm.
have their graduation episodes like on
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Saved by the Bell, Fresh
Yeah.
Prince, where they actually do go to college. So to Saved by the Bell, they had a spin-off where they went to college. So yeah,
Oh,
it is very much like that. So I do wonder, if
I
some of
think
these
it would be like
characters,
that.
yeah,
We,
well, I mean that
we
should be
got
one
it
of your
here first.
shows.
All right. We're
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
it. It's a graduation scene that's going to
Send it to
close
the
out the
internet.
younger
Yeah.
cast. It's going to be, that's it.
See, so when you guys are filming season six, there's going to be another spin-off. It's going to be like Cobra Kai colon senior year. Yeah,
Oh,
so,
God.
so so there's this story that they're telling, but then there's like the senior year for all the cast too. I don't
You
know.
do not want to see our characters in college. Oh, no, no, no. That would be
I don't,
bad.
I kind of do because
You want to see that?
well, John and Hayden, they made American Reunion,
Yeah.
so I want to
That's
see
why
a
I'm saying
version
you
of that.
don't want to see it. I mean,
I I
they
think I do.
love that franchise of like college frat.
Yes,
That's like their
yes.
favorite thing. And then to take our characters and surround them in something like that, oh, it'd be a masterpiece, but it would be a mess, a great
Yeah.
mess.
I mean, we got a glimpse of it, right? In
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, Dimitri missed out on it because he talks about it in episode 10, but in episode 9 they have the house party.
Hmm.
So we got a little bit of it. Obviously it's tamed. Um, let's see here. We talked about so another thing we learned. Apparently, Dimitri and Yaz get into a lot of fights because the charms, like he goes and buys charms every time they fight.
Yeah. I love that little line. It was so great. I think it sums up their relationship perfectly. I think they're a good couple, but I think they definitely clash a little bit. You know, they have very different ideologies sometimes. Um, I don't know. I would love to see more of Demitri and Yasmin. I just think that they would make the ultimate power couple because I think that I would like to see them run for like school president, or Yasmin would run for the president and Dimitri would be her VP, because Yasmin is so popular she'd get the votes, and then once they're in power, Dimitri would kind of like do all the the legwork and get things done. Yeah, I think they'd be a power couple. You know.
I think so. Yeah, I would like to see just a little. Again, we have no idea what the heck is what they have in mind for season six, but
Um,
if it's their senior year, that's an important year for a lot of people, and especially
yeah,
what they decide to do after high school. So I
yeah.
would like to see a little bit more of school for sure. And we already got 2 summers, so let's get another season of school. Hopefully, no fights. So
Oh man, you were at the wrong show then. That's all we do.
wait a minute, there was a sequence where they dunked Anthony's head in the toilet. Was that at school? Because it was summertime,
I I
or
don't know
was
if it
it?
was at school. It might have been at like a mall. Oh, now I'm wondering where it
That's
was.
interesting. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that because that was kind of like I feel like that was like during like a brief montage or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I never
Oh,
thought about that.
interesting.
I would assume
Yeah.
that it's like at a mall or something like that. I mean, we already have
Okay.
history of throwing down at malls, so it makes
Yes, you
sense.
do. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, what's next in season six? At an airport,
Oh God.
as
We
they're
just us fighting through TSA. Someone goes through the
right.
machine.
Well, because they're flying to. Well, we're assuming that they're gonna probably be in another country for the Sakai Takai. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
What do you remember? Any other memories from filming like the bad egg sequence, but also like when you guys had like this other board that's kind of evaluating the different dojos
Mm.
in the following
Uh,
episode.
Unfortunately, I wasn't there for that one where they were
Mm,
evaluating the dojos, but
okay.
I mean the X scene, any scene we film at Miyagi-Do, we film outdoors and during the day, and so we have to film it early in the morning. And that's the only thing I don't like about being on Miyagi-Do's side. With Cobra Kai, it's all indoors, so you can show up whenever. But we need that sunlight in
Mm,
Miyagi-Do. Usually, I'll have to get up at like 5 a.m. to make a 6 a.m. call time, because it takes me forever to get ready. I'm not a morning person. But yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about filming at the Miyagi-Do set. Everything else is really nice. It's very beautiful there. Everyone's super cool. It can get a little cold, especially in the early mornings. And so we'll have a lot of scenes. I talk about this one scene a lot where over at you remember, I think it was season 3, it was the hottest day of the year, and we're all sitting under the
right.
tree.
That's right. It was
Yeah.
sweating, but it was actually cold that day.
Yeah, it was raining that day. We were sitting in the cold, wet mud in the trees. They had like a bunch of umbrellas just like tied up there so it didn't rain on us. Yeah, so it could be a little bit difficult, but it's super cool. I also like to get to see Owen and Nate get dunked in the water. That's always fun. I want an
I
opportunity
need
like
some
that.
context.
Oh, what is it? The one part, isn't it the egg scene where they fall in the water?
Well, because Chosen kind of,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
he
yeah,
dumps
yeah.
him. Yeah,
Okay,
he
okay.
dumps him in there. I've always wanted to go into the water. I don't know why. I don't think it'd be very enjoyable. I mean, they have everyone wear like wetsuits to keep them warm underneath. Um, but I just want to go in there one time. We actually have koi fish in there too, like
Right.
real koi
Yeah,
fish.
yeah.
We take them out for like any scene where
Well,
people are in the water, but
right, right.
I want to swim
I
with
had
the
a
koi.
chance to go in it, but I did not take that chance because I didn't have anything to change into.
You
Hayden
didn't
was
do
like,
it.
well, Hayden was like, go ahead. I was like, I don't even know how deep it is.
It's so deep. It's a bottomless void. You can die
Okay.
down there.
Okay. See, well, I'm glad I didn't do it then.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here today.
Yeah,
No, I don't
absolutely.
know.
Yeah, I would have gone to Paley Fest. Um,
Yeah,
what do you think of Mitch's turn at the end there?
I
The
was
heel
not
turn,
expecting that at all, man.
but it makes
I
sense though,
mean,
right?
I
Wrestling
I
fan.
was gonna say it makes sense that he would do it, but yeah, it really makes you reflect on how abused that character is that he'd be willing to switch sides. And I think it's so sad that he switches sides and then has this whole long speech about like how he doesn't like to be called names and you guys keep calling him names, and then of course Kyler's like, shut up, penis breath.
Right.
And poor Mitch is like, oh, here we go again, man.
That was just
Yeah,
Kyler though, and so
it
yeah,
is, yeah. But I don't know. It makes a lot of sense that he would switch sides, but it's sad to see. But it was short lived because all of Cobra Kai disbanded. I
yeah.
think. I mean, Cobra Kai never dies though,
That's what
so
we keep hearing. They keep saying that on the show too.
so
Uh,
it
s-
can't
speak
die.
Speaking of a cobra who won't die, Stingray. What do you remember about filming and having the conversation about dungeons and dojos?
Yeah, I mean, he Paul is such Paul who plays Stingray. Uh, he is such an amazing actor to get to work with. His improv skills are you know, amazing. They're unstoppable. And every scene we did together, every time we filmed it, it was something new. He's always adding something into it. And even just in the rehearsals, he gave it everything he had. He's just so great to work off of. And we got a couple of scenes. I don't think too many of them made it. But we had a couple of takes where we would just kind of go back and forth. He had this one ad lib that I'm sad they didn't keep where he's like, I'm talking about me, right? Like he's talking about the little guy, and he's like, I'm the guy, and, and everyone's just like, yeah, no, we know, man, we know. He's like, oh, okay. They didn't keep that in, and I'm sad, but I
That is
understand
so
why.
good. Yeah, yeah.
It's so
Uh,
good, right?
I
But
remember
yeah,
when I spoke to Owen Morgan about season 4 and the prom scene, he said
uh,
one of Paul's ad libs was like, "Bert, you gotten taller," or like something like that. Like he he just mentioned how
yeah.
Bert got tall. I was like, man, that's so good. Like it's just
He's
so
always adding stuff.
subtle and yeah,
It's
yeah.
so good. I don't know where he comes up with the stuff. He just started a new TV series on Apple TV, I think. It's called
Oh,
Blackbird.
I heard about
Yeah,
that. I heard
yeah,
he's
yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
I saw the first episode of it. He's really good in that. Yeah. I
It's
gotta finish the rest of it.
is based on a
Yeah.
true story and he plays a serial
Yes.
killer.
I think I don't know if he is a serial killer. At the beginning, they say like, oh, his character lies a lot about stuff for like the attention of it, and they send in this other character to go in and get the confession out of him. Or no, they want
Hmm,
to find out where other bodies are that he allegedly killed, so that
interesting.
way the other character could be freed. But yeah, it's really interesting. I would highly recommend it. I mean, I only saw the
Yeah.
first episode, but it's
Right,
pretty
right,
good.
right. I mean,
Yeah.
from all accounts, like 2 or 3 different people were like, "Oh yeah, I saw him in Blackbird. He was amazing." So,
Yeah.
I loved him in Richard Jewell.
Yeah.
I haven't seen I, Tonya yet, but everything
Yep.
else I've seen him. I saw him in Beats with Khalil. So
Hmm.
and that's a completely different type of Stingray.
Man, I mean, yeah, he
He's a
deserves a lot
chameleon.
more credit than he gets. Yeah, he's a chameleon. He's gonna go far, without a
Yeah.
doubt.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, worked with Clint Eastwood. So yeah, he's
Yeah, he is
um
not struggling. He's doing
Yeah,
awesome.
no, no, he's doing great. I mean, Cruella, also like so he was in a
Yeah.
Disney property. So
Yep.
as we get ready to wrap up, let's talk about that epic of a finale. I think it's my favorite finale.
Oh
You guys
yeah.
are doing so much, so many moving parts, so many characters.
Yeah.
A lot is happening. Okay, so I feel I've heard before that each episode is a roughly a week of filming.
Yes, roughly a week, depending on how involved some of like the fight scenes can be, maybe like a week and a half. But that is, yeah, the usual time frame of it,
So
about a
what do you
week.
remember about production on the finale?
Every finale we do, it's like it's crunch time. We're at the very end, people are running around. We still have minors on the set, and so they pumpkin, and so we can only keep them for so long.
Right.
So it can be crazy on the last couple of weeks of filming. But it's always so much fun because you really get this nostalgic feeling of like, oh man, there's another season all wrapped up. But it's great, and getting to do the big final fight, it's so much fun. It can be a little bit difficult sometimes because the people that teach us is the stunt team, and they're oftentimes busy working on other stuff, and so we don't always get to work as much on a scene as we would like to. Me, I always try to prep like way in advance, but sometimes you just gotta roll with the punches. But luckily, our stunt team, they're so great that they really explain things well for us, and you know they can get a scene going in like seconds with no previous prep time, and it's always awesome. I really liked this fight scene in particular because it was cool seeing it go from this really skilled and really involved, circular battle that kind of replicates the egg training that we went through, where we protect the egg or the iPad there, and then watch it devolve into like your typical, high school fight where it's just a big mosh pit of just, arms wailing on each other. It was fun, and getting to do that, the hacking scene with the binary bros, getting to see them finally earn that title, that was really cool. It was cool getting to lift the monitor as, I think Hawk's face gets wiped across the table. I had recommended this one thing where I was like, hey, what if, I pick up the keyboard at one point and just smash Kyler over the head? And they're like, yeah, nah, no, but you'd break it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. Got carried
I
away
mean,
there.
yeah, no, no, that would be on brand for Demetri, but
Yeah.
you're right. You need to protect that
I need
laptop.
the
So
key.
it
Yeah.
could have been
So
something
I
else.
gotta protect my egg. Yeah.
Yeah. So was that always scripted that Demetri would get that little fight with Kyler and kick him?
That was scripted, but the very end where because I say like, man, that felt good, bitch. The man that felt good was in there, but I added the bitch part just because I thought like, what's the most Kyler thing someone could say in that moment, just to like really throw it back in his face? Because Dimitri had been pushed around by Kyler for so long. To finally get a win, I would think that Dimitri would want to relish in it, and so yeah,
I think that line is perfect, or the
yeah,
word, the addition of it, anyway, it's
yeah.
perfect just because it kind of calls back to when Edwin and Kyler walk into the room. It's like,
Mm.
oh, it's Moon and Yasmin bitches, or something like that. So
Yeah. Oh
it's a
yeah, yeah.
callback to, yeah. So it's perfect. It's a good bookend to that scene.
Also, I love the way AJ delivered that line. I think that was the first line he had in
Yeah.
the show, and
Hmm.
I gotta say, man, what a way to like enter into it. That's a great first line, and I think it's gonna go down in the Hall of Fame of line deliveries on the show. It was
I
great.
think so. It's funny because and I know it wasn't intentional, but it actually reminds me of a very similar delivery in a movie called Don't Be a Menace to South Central While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood. It was
Okay.
a parody of all these like hood movies where
Oh.
there's a guy talking and he's like, "Man, stop acting like a bitch." And then there's another guy who's like, "Bitch." I was like, "Oh man." So Gianni, yeah, thank you so much for giving me your time and sharing your wonderful stories because since the guys are working on Obliterated, there's not going to be a
Mm,
whole lot of news. So hopefully people check this out and kind of live vicariously through your stories about the premiere, and it just looked
mm.
amazing. Just yeah, kind of. I wish I lived closer. I'll
I
say that
know.
much. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's nice when we get to see each other for as brief as we do, but yeah, I'm hoping we can meet up again sometime soon. But
Absolutely.
yeah.
It'd be great. I keep telling people like Craig, if I can be somebody's plus one, but I keep telling everyone that. So,
Yeah.
so if anybody like doesn't have somebody for like a rap party or something, like, well, Peter did say something one time. They know,
Okay. Well, I'll
just be
tell
like,
you
oh,
what, yeah, if my girlfriend ever bails on me, I'll let you know.
okay, that's fair. All right,
But
cool.
you're gonna have to wear a dress for that.
Hey, I will wear whatever you want. I'll even show up in Chosen's wardrobe from that first sequence we see him in season 5 if you.
Okay. All right. I love it. Let's do it. Oh wait, no, no, no. Just the towel.
The towel, yeah, that's what I meant.
No.
It's the wardrobe. I'm sure Frank will hook me up with a very nice towel.
I'm sure we won't get kicked out of the event at all. So
You don't think
yes,
so?
that sounds
Okay.
great. No, no,
That's,
not at all.
Gianni told me to wear this. A towel.
Don't throw me under the bus. I'm not a part of this. Oh God.
Okay.
But
So,
hey, at least you got a
excuse me.
Halloween costume.
All right, yeah, there you go. Yeah, for Halloween's coming up. You mentioned that you had done some auditions. Is there anything that you might be able to kind of share, promote, coming out soon that people can keep an eye out for?
Nothing I can say just yet, but I mean,
Not
you
yet.
know, no, we'll see. We'll see. You just keep your eyes open. I have a lot of stuff I got plans for, and like I said, I also have a couple of show ideas I want to eventually make myself. We'll see how how that turns out, but yeah, watch out.
Yeah, just keep an eye out. I shared just about everything all you guys shared too. Like I know Peyton's working on something. She shared like a picture, like a cast member from another project posted of
Hmm.
her, and I was like, oh, well, Peyton's in here,
I
so I
think
share that
she's
too.
in Vancouver. I
It'd be
think.
she likes to travel all around the world. Like
Yeah.
I even checked out that one serial killer movie she did, Eileen Wuornos, where she played her.
Oh yes, yeah,
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Netflix, right?
Yes, it was on Netflix,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which is wild because like Charlize Theron just played her as well in Monster,
Oh
so it's
shoot.
interesting. Yeah, you didn't know that?
Yeah,
Christina Ricci was also in that one.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel Charlize won an Academy for that one.
Oh shoot. Okay, I gotta check that
At the
out.
very
Very cool.
least, nominated because I know there
Yeah.
was 2003 maybe.
Okay.
It's early aughts. So all right, Gianni, again, thank you so much. For being so gracious with your time, carving out some time with me here. And thank you to all the listeners tuning in for your guys' continued support. And we'll see you guys next time.